Welcome back to my channel.
I just think it would be the ideal time to share this little story. So in my intro video, I told you guys that I would let you guys know later on why I said that my daughter, I'm most grateful for my daughter, and um, she has been the biggest life changing event, if I can call her that, um, recently. Um, so my daughter was born November 23rd, 2014. Um, 10 something, I can't really remember, guys. Me just remember. Um, I mean, there were so many things happening, I could not remember. But I'm just gonna go a bit down memory lane to kind of, because I think it will be relevant to what I'm gonna say later on in the story. So I I was during my pregnancy. I think it was pretty normal, like anybody else, any other pregnant woman. You have the upset stomach, you have the stomach burns, the appetite change, um, you know, all of that. I think almost everybody encountered um that. So yeah. So anyways, um I remember doing an ultrasound. I think it was 6 or 7 months. One of the things, guys, is that I did not want to know what sex I was having. We were buying unisex. I wanted it to be a surprise upon delivery. And of course, I wanted to do natural birth. I was scared, but yeah, I wanted to do natural birth delivery. Um, but anyways, I remember going to do a ultrasound, and I remember this particular look the sonographer had on her face um, when she was doing her ultrasound. I remember asking her about the baby's heartbeat. If it was, I asked her if I could hear the baby's heartbeat, and after I heard it, I asked her if it was normal. No, this was not out of wondering if there was anything wrong. This was out of, I think every mother wants to hear the heartbeat, and every mother wants to know. Um, no, I mean, whether or not it was normal or abnormal at the time, I could not tell, to be honest, because I wasn't listening to abnormal heartbeats during my pregnancy or before, so I wouldn't really know if it was abnormal either way. But anyways, when she was doing the ultrasound, guys, she had this look on her face, one of being puzzled, and but in my mind, so it was me and daddy there. In my mind, she was just, sometimes they're doing the ultrasound and they're trying to look at certain things, and the baby keep turning and all of that, so they can't get to see what they're doing. I thought it was that in the moment. But anyways, fast forward to my latter part of my pregnancy. I was i was really pained up. I couldn't do much. I could not I couldn't eat. I could take a bath myself, but it was really hard, as in a lot of pain. So daddy used to give me do the shower for me, and I remember the very day that I went into labor. But before that, guys, whenever I in the latter part of my pregnancy, I used to. So we used to share property with his best friend and her husband. And what I used to do is, when I see everybody sitting down comfortably in the living room, in the latter part of my pregnancy, this is, I used to run out and say, guys, my water break. And then everybody, would get all scared, and they're throwing down stuff, and everybody just get all excited and ready to go. And then I would just laugh and say, oh, I just wanted to see if you guys are ready for this. But anyways, fast forward to the day that I went to, my water actually broke. I was I just got a bath. He just gave me a bath, and he went in the kitchen to prepare something for me to eat. And I was drying off, and while drying off, I noticed that each time I wiped between my legs, there was water there again, and I was like, "What is happening?" But in my head, I was ignorant to the fact that, when you water break, you don't necessarily feel pain, right? You don't have to feel pain, but so I wasn't really sure. So it's after, I think I was texting a friend of mine, and I was telling her that I've seen this stuff, and she said, "Shani, probably a water break." So I went out into the kitchen and I said to him, "Babe, my water broke." And he said, he looked at me and said, "I soon come with the food." And I stood there and I said, "I'm serious, my water break." And he looked at me, guys, and he's like, "Shanik, may I come with the food?" Because, guys, I mean, given that I'm always creating a lot of excitement, pretending like my water break and how I used to carry on, he was expecting that same behavior. So after a while, he recognized that I was very serious, and he said, "You water break for real?" So I said, "Yeah, it breaks." So I said, "So how looks so calm and stuff?" And I said, maybe because I'm shocked that it actually happened now. So anyway, fast forward to the hospital. I was taken to the hospital because, of course, I was sitting at home for a little bit waiting for the contractions to come. And a friend of mine who had gone through 2 pregnancies, said to me, "Shani, go to the hospital that you're scheduled to have baby, and have them check you up," because she was saying to me that she had a friend who sat at home waiting, and she ended up losing her baby. So of course we went to the hospital, and I can't remember if it was a midwife. I can't remember if it was a midwife that said to that started to check me. She was asking me stuff, and I'm giving her the answers as best as I could. So she did some checks, and then she had this look on her face which reminded me of the sonographer when I was doing my ultrasound, and she said, "I'm coming, I'm gonna get something to monitor the baby." And she went for the monitor, and she strapped it onto me to monitor the baby, and she said, "Let me get the doctor." After that, she said, "Let me get the doctor," because obviously something was bothering her. But of course, in my mind, I am still not thinking anything severe. So anyways, she went to get the doctor. No, before she apparently went to get the doctor, but she came back by herself, and she said to me, she looked at the monitor, and she said, "Mommy, we have to do an emergency C-section to get this baby out." So I'm waiting on the doctor to come to confirm what I'm seeing, that it is really so. So I said, "What is happening?" She said, "The baby is either in distress or something." So of course, naturally, as a mother, you're going to be thinking about the distress, because you don't want to be thinking about anything else, and ain't nobody thinking about any sick child. So anyways, the doctor came, and the doctor did some checks also, and she said, "Yeah, we have to do an emergency C-section." So they brought a document to me for me to sign, to read and sign, that I give them permission to do a cesarean, and also the possibilities of what can happen, and I give them permission to remove my womb, worst case scenario. So I didn't bother to read the document. I just signed it. So she said, "Mommy, you have to read the document." So I said, I'm already familiar with what can happen, so I'm not gonna waste any time to read through this document. Let's just go ahead with it. Just get the baby out safe. Anyways, of course, the cesarean was done. All went well, thank Jesus. and we made it out. To be honest, I can't remember seeing the baby after after the cesarean because I was still drowsy. They had to be fighting to wake me up. And I remember the doctor said to me, "What type of baby you have?" And I said, "Girl." And it wasn't because I saw anything. It was because I heard them say it was a girl. So I knew it was a girl. And anyways, it took the child to the nursery, took my daughter to the nursery, and of course I was moved to a private room because I just did a cesarean and all of that. I can't really do much. I can't move and stuff like that. So of course, Daddy was the one seeing the baby at the nursery for a few days, and I was, of course, breast swollen, milk there, everything just aching. There were a lot of aches and pain. Um, anyways, we a few days later now, I was able to I was I was able to now see my daughter. When I went to the nursery, of course, she was one of the biggest baby there, and I remember I was struggling mentally with it because I was wondering if she was really my child or it was somebody else's child. You know, seeing because she was so big, and all the other babies were like little ants to compare to her. So, anyways, they said that they heard a murmur and they have to check it out. So they took her, still not thinking anything serious. They took her to um, the Bustamante Hospital for Children, and they did their checks. And I remember the doctor said that they wanted to meet with us, meet with the parents to give them an update. And of course, we went in for the update, and of course, we were hit with the most heartbreaking thing ever. Um, I don't think I've ever, I don't think there's any relationship I've been in that broke my heart this much. But anyways, um, we, the doctor told us that my daughter was born with a complete AVSD, this complete atrioventricular septal defect. So that's a large hole between the atria and the ventricle, right? Um, so, yeah, between the atrium and the ventricle. And I remember running out of that room. Oh, she was also diagnosed with as being polysplenic, and spleen possibly doesn't work. She was also and also heterotaxis syndrome. Now, these were the first time I'm hearing all of these things. I mean, when I was going to primary school, I had a schoolmate who had we used to say, him have a battery in him heart, so don't play with him because you don't want him drop down or anything, which is a pacemaker. But you just hear that him have a hole in him heart. You never know that it is anything that serious. Or, well, yes, it's serious, but you never know there are multiple types of defect that was out there. Um, so, of course, it was shocking. I remember running out of that room and I started to cry, and, I was questioning, like, why me? And is this the right baby? And all of that. Because there was nothing strange. But, of course, the look on I immediately remembered the look on the sonographer's face. Now, with my daughter diagnosis, her liver is not in the same place as ours. Her heart is not in the same place as ours. So, of course, there, at the time that we did the test, of course, the sonographer maybe couldn't have told us all that was happening to the child, but she could have told us something. But of course, she did not. tell us. So, you know, I remembered the look on her face while I was crying, and I was so angry because, you know, in my head it's like, you know, I was cheated because she could have given me some information, but she didn't, and I was really hurt by it. And I remember after a few days it started to soak in that, okay, this is my reality, this is really happening. It's not a dream, Shanik. You're not wake up. You're there and this is it. So I, you know, said, okay, where do I start? And I started, of course, a few days later she was discharged, because regardless of how complex her condition was, she was staying pink. The there were no evidence of cyanosis and all of that, so that was good. No, sorry. One of the things is that the doctor had said to us that there's normally a team that comes to Jamaica, to the Bustamante Hospital for Children, um, in November of each year, November and June of each year. However, my daughter was born late November, so obviously she would not have made it on that list. And June, more than likely, they already have kids set up for that list. Um, so, you know, and of course, we were told that by the child needs to do surgery before the age of 1. Anyways, we started to be followed up at the Bustamante Hospital for Children, and also privately we had a private cardiologist who would see her. So we would never rely on one set of information. We would always have two persons. Second opinion was a thing for us from the very start. So yeah, so it was a very tough beginning, you know, our first child, and this was what we were hit with. um but anyways, of course it was hard because my daughter would constantly get sick. She would constantly be hospitalized for days. The longest she has stayed in though was for 3 weeks, and I'm grateful because of course there were other kids who were in there and cannot get out. So I was happy nonetheless, even though it was a very challenging period. Um, Fast forward to, so we were seen by a cardiologist at the public hospital, and we were also seen, so after, you know, they saw that she was fit enough, we started to see a cardiothoracic team. This is the team that actually does the surgery. So once you're fit enough, the child is fit enough, you're able to move on to the cardiothoracic team to be considered for surgery. So this particular cardiologist that we were seeing in the public system, I must say he was a phenomenal doctor. He's an amazing person. I can call him any time of night, and him dede and him tell me, say, yes, Shani, this is what you have to do. And you know, yeah. So, you know, I was most grateful for him. I remember one day, after waiting and waiting and waiting to be considered for surgery, to get on the list for surgery, um, I remember one day I said to him, because no, by this time I had having had enough, you know, because time was running out. Time was really running out. You know, everywhere I read everything I read said that we had up until she's 1 to get this surgery done, or there's a high possibility that she will not live past 1 year old. Anyways, I remember one day I said to him, and I think I just really had enough, and I turned to him and I said, Doc, um, can I just write a letter, sign it, and give you permission to give my daughter my heart? And he looked at me, and I looked at him. I looked at him and I said, I'm very serious. And he said to me, no, Shanik, we can't do that, because Capri needs a baby's heart. a newborn heart. Your heart is just too big. And he pat me on the shoulder, and he started to laugh, and I eventually started to laugh. But I was really serious. I was ready to sacrifice my life for my daughter, because you know as a parent, when you see your children, even if it's a common cold, and they're in pain, or they keep coughing, you just want to take it away. You just want to take that pain away. And I knew that my daughter was in pain from constantly getting pneumonia, constantly being hospitalized, constantly being given an injection. They were all of that was just too much for her. So I just wanted to take it away. And but I was very ignorant to the fact that my heart couldn't work. But of course, I was told about another hospital performing these type of surgeries here in Jamaica, and we decided to explore that option. Now, when we reached out to them, we were told that the whole procedure was $1.5 million. Now, this would include the surgical procedure plus inserting a pacemaker. So by this time, my daughter had complete heart block. Right, so we were updated later on. So her heartbeat was in the 60s, and we were told that we needed to get a pacemaker urgently. So, of course, I had amazing support, guys. I had really good people around me, really good family members around me. Even those that I didn't know, that came out, and they were there to support me. And we paid for the surgery. Long and short of it, we went in twice and nothing happened. Now, during that time, or before that time, I was reaching out to different hospitals overseas to tell them about to find out if they did this sort of surgery, give them the information on her diagnosis, to find out what are my options, and if there are any success story. Anyways, I remember the very first hospital I reached out to was Boston Children's Hospital, which is ranked the number one hospital in the world for complex congenital heart defect. So I had reached out to them first. Of course, I didn't get a response at the time, and after we went into our local hospital twice and nothing happened, we decided that, hey, it's time to leave Jamaica for surgery overseas. And of course, my very supportive team, who worked really hard, like really, 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 really hard, guys, to fund my daughter's surgery, which was $256,400 and something US dollar. Which is 20 something million dollars in Jamaican dollars. So we're moving from 1.5 Jamaican dollars to 20 something million, so it was a big jump. But of course, long and short is, my daughter did open heart surgery here in Boston, which I am here right now, because we do follow up here, because they are very thorough with what they do. And given that they did a very special surgery on her, we stick to them in doing our follow-up visits. No, guys, I don't know, but my daughter has changed my life tremendously. Like, really, really changed my life. My eyes are not closed to things happening around Jamaica with children. I'm more caring in that department. I'm more considerate. I know fight for kids with congenital heart defects, or overall once you're sick and they need some sort of surgical procedure, I now fight for them because I know what it is like, because there are persons out there who are less fortunate than I am and are not able to get the help. They don't know where to turn, they don't know the procedure, they don't know how to reach out to other people. And yes, guys, there are people out there who don't know how. Say, all right, yeah, you want something, you beg something, who, let me read you, I want a plane ticket. Remember beg American airline and see if them will give me. Yes, people are out there who don't know that they can do that. Yes, and they have children. And it all boils down to exposure. So, and then given that I've worked in marketing for quite some time, so I know how to put things together, to reach out to these companies to get help for these kids. So I am grateful for my daughter because of this. And oh, by the way, I didn't tell you guys, my daughter did surgery at 1 year and 9 months. So of course, during that period, we were saying that she was living on grace period. And I must say that my daughter is doing well. She, guys, if you see her, you would not know that she has in a pacemaker, she's battling anything. You could not tell. You'll just say, oh, she's such a slim girl. But yes, I am grateful for her because she has taught me a lot. They tell you that there's this saying that say, you never know how strong you are until strong is the only thing you can be, or something like that. I can't remember. But yes, I never know that I'm this strong until I had my daughter. I have kicked depression right in the face. I've battled depression. I've been through some really rough patches. With the whole finding out process of what my daughter was was diagnosed with. I was depressed, I was suicidal, I was all sort of things. And guys, I'm now considerate of persons out there who are facing depression because I have been in that place. And to be honest, I've had someone really close to me told me that they were depressed. And the little things that they used to do used to annoy me because I just did not understand. And there's this little saying that says, who feels it knows it. And it's until I faced it myself I understood what these persons were going through, or people continue to go through. Because I have been in that place, I have faced it. And I know a lot of you guys will say, oh, me not kill myself for nothing at all, and whatever. But guys, when you face depression, it's a whole different story. You not being in depression and saying it is okay, but when you face depression, it's a whole different ball game. Like, seriously. So I am very grateful for my daughter. She has taught me a lot, as I said before. And she has helped me to unlock things that I didn't know that were inside of me. So yes, guys, that is my little story on why I'm grateful for my daughter and why I said she was the biggest life-changing event to happen to me. Yes, so that of course is really, really a big life-changing event.